Good morning, everyone. We'll get started in about 2 minutes, so grab your coffee and find a seat, please.
This side.
Okay. Make sure you get your good side. Good morning, everyone. You can tell who the people are who paid attention in kindergarten class when they learned how to shout back good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank
Oh,
you.
the
Isn't
power.
that better?
The power.
I know, we're very powerful. I think
Well.
they're doing it for you.
I don't know about
Yeah.
that.
Anyway, good morning. I'm Leslie Warren. I am the interim associate provost today. Unfortunately, Dale Kapla, our interim provost, wasn't able to be here, so I am the understudy today, and I will play the role of Dale faithfully. It's my honor to introduce to you Judd from the Center for Native American Studies, who will welcome us to campus and to the year.
Bindigay gaknawi kitchenendam mendam amaw yayong amanongum.
Welcome. We're glad you could join us as we gather for Northern Michigan University's 2023 Fall Convocation.
Nongum mekwarimada aniko bichkana kanishna bek bemati sewad. Nongum dash oskeyajik anishnabe walking. Anakiyang amina bemati seyong.
Let's take a moment to pay respect to the past, present, and future peoples of whose lands we live and work. Our university is located on the ancestral homelands of the Anishinaabe people, and it is with great pride that we honor the indigenous members of our community. Miigwech.
Aha.
So to those of you who have been off campus all summer, welcome back. For those of you who have been here all summer, thank you. We know that it takes work 12 months out of the year to make our university run and to make sure that we are serving our current and future students, as well as our alumni, staff, and faculty and community. This fall, we give a special welcome to 109 new staff members, with 37 new faculty, including tenure-earning term and adjunct faculty, and 2 new department heads, 56 graduate assistants. Would those who are new to the university over the last year please stand so that we can say hello? Thank you for choosing Northern. We look forward to working with you. While you're navigating your new year at the university, please don't hesitate to introduce yourself to academic affairs or any of the other offices on campus as opportunities arise, and so that we have a chance to learn who you are and you can learn who we are. So I am honored to extend a special welcome today to several of our current and former trustees from the University Board of Trustees. We have Trustee Steve Lindberg, who's here with us today. Steve, thank you. Trustee Greg Sepinen. I know, there's Greg all the way in the back. And we have Trustee Emeritus Jack LaSalle. Where is Jack? Oh, Jack's also in the back. And I'd also like to give a warm welcome to all of those who are watching us online. Thank you for joining us. At this time, I'd like to invite Dr. Jamie Crabb to the stage. Jamie is Associate Professor in the School of Nursing, and she recently became the Chair of Academic Senate.
Good morning, everyone. I'm so excited that we are getting ready to start our 2023-2024 academic year. It's a privilege and an honor to be up here to be able to address everyone. We are located, as everyone said, on the ancestral homelands of the Anishinaabe people, so thank you to them for this. As the chair of Northern's Academic Senate, there are a few things that I'd like to share with you. So the Academic Senate plays an integral part in the shared governance that happens across Northern's campus. Our Academic Senate consists of members of each academic department, and we have ASNMU student representatives, NMU administration, and other personnel across NMU's campus. The role of Academic Senate is to evaluate curriculum, academic policies, research proposals, and other faculty-wide concerns. The work of the Academic Senate supports our academic mission and also our students' experiences. Our Senate is one venue where we have shared governance. Hardworking Senate committees bring recommendations forth to the Academic Senate. They are talked about, they are discussed. Our Academic Senate members go back to their respective departments and ask for feedback, and then bring that back to the table as we debate and discuss on issues. It is a very valuable process that happens here on campus. And once we have decided that something is our recommendation and we full-heartedly support it, then we actually send it to Provost Kapela's office, and he gets the choice of accepting it or vetoing it. I haven't had any of those. I haven't seen any of those, so hopefully we don't see many of them. The Senate will also help with diversity, equity, and inclusion and belonging, and bringing that into our curriculum and also our scholarship. If you want to learn more about the Senate activities, I do encourage everyone to find a way to be involved, regardless of whether it is small or large, to promote shared governance across campus. Now, I have to say, the charge to actually deliver a speech at Convocation is extremely daunting. And to see all of you guys out there, I'm super excited to see smiling faces. You're not like falling asleep and I'm boring and I'm not keeping you entertained. But I was thinking about it and I was like, God, I want to deliver something that is profound. And I kept I was saving quotes and I'm like, why? Why am I doing, I'm spending too much time for the short amount of time that I have in front of you. So I thought that I would offer some personal thoughts. So the university as a whole, we've seen many changes, and I don't know about you, but the majority of people don't really like change, right? At the same token, we have a wonderful opportunity under Dr. Tessman to change how Northern is seen, to increase our retention and increase our recruiting to NMU. So hold that thought in the back of your mind. So one topic that was near and dear to my heart, having been on Senate for a while, I thought I would talk about closing the loop. We do a lot with electronic communication, and there are often times that our electronic communication doesn't necessarily convey the tone in which we're sending something, or it may seem maybe contrite or short. And so I really encourage you guys, before you send anything, to consider that and see if somebody is going to take offense to that or may see something that is a little unjust in it. So just something that I wanted to pass on. The other thing is, when we're sending those electronic communications, to make sure that we are not just passing the buck. Did we give it the good old-fashioned try? Did we provide the information that needs to be in the email? And I think every one of us has probably done that at some point in time, where we've actually sent something and said, oh, I probably should have done a little more for that. So this year, I'm asking you to do the more, to take that extra 30 seconds, and even if it takes a little bit longer, I promise you it'll be worth it in the end. And here's why. So a year and a half ago, I went down to Georgia. My son had called, he had to go out in the field, and Grandma had to go dog sit. Not babysit, no, dog sit. So I flew down to Georgia with my mom, and as we were down there, we were kind of packing up his house. He decided he wanted to sell his house. Great, fine. So we're packing up his house, and I get this call from my son, and my son says, Mom, I have a soldier who needs a jump. I need you to take my jumper cables from the garage and go into Hinesville and give this soldier a jump. I have never jumped a car. I'm sorry, I have never. But I learned, he talked me through it on the phone. But ironically, when I went there to help that soldier, which I was glad to be able to help a fellow soldier, that soldier remembered me. Now, this is Georgia. How in the heck does this soldier remember me? This soldier had come to Northern for Wildcat Weekend thinking about being a nursing student. Like, what are the chances that I get thrown into, oh my God, I come from Michigan, I come to jump your car, and you know who I am. Not only that, she went to basic training with my son, and she was also in South Korea with my son. I mean, these kind of stories, every one of us has them. We need to share them. We do good work, every one of us, every faculty member, every staff member, every administrator, we do good work, and we don't always get the pat on the back. So today, I give you all a pat on the back. I'm happy to see you guys all here, and it's a wonderful opportunity to make this year great. Now, we have an amazing campus. We know that, right? But I don't know if you noticed, but there is a little stigma in the local areas, and they say, oh, you're just going to Northern, right? We have leading researchers here at Northern. We have fantastic faculty here at Northern, and our staff is second to none. We need to show our community that we have that. So that local recruiting and retention, we definitely need to do that. Now, I may be somewhat biased. I do have 3 degrees from Northern, but I obviously liked something. I kept coming back, and now I'm teaching here. So go figure. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was embracing opportunity. So we all have the opportunity to make an impact on everyone that we encounter, especially our students. As faculty, we need to ensure the work-life balance. Oh, no Snickers even. I figured for sure I'd have that. So fellow faculty, it is okay if you need to walk away from your lesson planning to allow yourself to gain perspective before attempting further changes. To new faculty, Please find a mentor or a colleague that you can talk with and ask questions to so that you can calm your fears, but also gain perspective. To our students, please know that when you cram, it is not beneficial. One way to de-stress prior to exams is looking at your material after it is covered and checking your understanding of it, which also gives you time to reach out to your professors. Just an aside. To the staff that are present, it is okay that you have a chance to reset. So if you need to walk away, that is okay. We would rather you refresh, reset, and come back and ready to reattempt whatever you are working on. I understand that change can be difficult, but it can also improve our environment. We also, at the end of winter 2023, signed the Okanagan Charter. That focuses on wellness, and it's not just wellness of our students, it's wellness of our faculty, our staff, our administration, and our students. It is a wonderful opportunity for us to gain perspective, to start looking at things from a positive aspect instead of the negative. So in conclusion, we have our opportunities ahead of us to change how NMU is viewed internally and externally. We all need something from NMU, whether it is the degree that you are seeking, a lab to do your research, or maybe it's just a paycheck. We all need to do what needs to be done to keep NMU alive and well. With Dr. Tessman at the helm of the ship, we all need to pick up an oar so that we can paddle along too. What will be your oar? Let's remember that a positive mindset will go a long way to enhance our academic year experience. Let's put NMU on the forefront again. I wish you all well in the upcoming year. Feel free to reach out if you have questions about Academic Senate. And have a great year. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. You're going to be a great chair for Senate. I'm looking forward to working with you this year. You're really good. She's going to be very good. And it's now my great pleasure to introduce a new feature of Convocation. This year, Dr. Tessman invited the staff to have a speaker, a representative for Convocation, and it is my incredible pleasure to introduce Dan Truckee, the director of the Beaumaire UP Heritage Center, to speak on behalf of the staff. Dan.
Thank you, Leslie. And thank you, Dr. Tessman, for inviting us to speak. So on behalf of all the folks who have been here on campus all summer, I want to welcome you back to NMU for a new year. Don't feel too bad for us. It's very nice and quiet on campus while you're all away. But there's nothing like the energy of a new academic year to get us out of our summer slumber, if you will, and kick things back into gear for the semester. Actually, that's not entirely fair because the staff of NMU are some of the most talented, hardest working, and dedicated folks on campus. Many of us, like myself, have deep roots to the NMU community. I'm a third-generation Northern grad, having been preceded by my grandmother and my parents, and have strong ties to what Northern has been, what it is today, and what I believe it will become in the future. Many staff members here at Northern are alumni who found that it was not only a special place to work, but important to our community and to the Upper Peninsula. So who exactly are the staff of NMU? We are an eclectic group of skilled professionals who work usually under the radar to keep the university moving along year after year. In fact, so seamlessly that sometimes people don't really notice. All summer long, the staff have been hard at work orienting new students about the Northern experience, running summer camps, repairing roads, keeping the grounds beautiful, scheduling rooms for the fall classes, preparing budgets for the fiscal year, and this summer moving the entire health center from Grease Hall, its home since 1960, to its new location next to Spalding Hall. There are lots of unsung heroes amongst our staff. I'd like to name a few. First is Kathy Frazier, who has been working, yeah, let's hear for Kathy. Kathy has been working in the controller's office for many years. Kathy, if you don't know, is the grant fund czar. That's not her actual title. Kathy's job is to manage all of the grant funds for projects on campus. Considering how many research and project grants there are on campus, it's a challenge to say the least. But Kathy does it with an ease and equanimity that is truly inspiring. This is in spite of the fact that she has to work with creative, intelligent, and at times temperamental people who do not always understand the ins and outs of granting rules, and I say this from great experience. Another is Josh Santiago, our registrar. Let's hear it for Josh. Who, along with his staff, not only makes sure that students are registered for classes and on their way to graduation, but schedules all the classroom spaces on campus, which is a daunting task. He then has to receive phone calls from instructors like myself, wondering why on the first day of class there is some other class in my assigned room, only to inform me that my class starts on Tuesday. And he does with great ease, and though inside he's probably rolling his eyes at my stupidity. Now, this morning, we all enjoyed a wonderful breakfast buffet. But let me tell you, folks, that food does not make itself and just doesn't appear on the tables. The staff of the Northern Center and Dining Services make it possible for this to happen on a daily basis, not only in these rooms, but in dining halls across campus. T. Hammery, for instance, has approximately 600 workers, students, and staff that she has to coordinate across campus to keep Northern Lights, Vieira's, and catering moving, including Sally Wilson, who is the person who runs this room during events. Yeah. And believe me, she gets some strange and difficult requests on a daily basis. So to T and all the staff here at the Northern Center and Dining Services, we tip our hat to you for keeping us well fed with offerings far better than what we had when I was a student in the 1980s. Does anyone remember the prune whip that looked like chocolate mousse? They got us every time. Of course, the great unsung heroes include the custodial and facility staff who keep our buildings warm, clean, and in functioning order on a daily basis. I could go on, and will, as I'd like to quickly thank the facility staff for quickly fixing my leaking air conditioner this summer, the folks who have to get up early to plow the snow off our sidewalks and parking lots in the winter, the public safety staff who do just that, keep us safe and make sure that people park where they're supposed to park. And I don't want to forget probably the most important group, the administrative assistants across campus who really keep the machine that is Northern moving down the road. Yeah. In particular, I want to recognize Carolyn Robertson, who has the unthankful task of managing Bill Dignite's calendar. I've jested a bit here, but suffice to say, at our core, the staff love working at NMU and helping create a positive environment to get an education and work. Most of the staff at NMU grew up in the Upper Peninsula, and many attended Northern, so this is a meaningful place for us and why we came here to work. It is why after 17 years after I graduated, I returned to run the Beaumere Center in 2007. I wanted to give back not only to the UP, but also to Northern, which played such an important role in my development. Our mission is to make NMU a perfect place for students to find themselves and their calling in the world, and to make sure every day is a good day to be a Wildcat. Thank you very much.
I love working with Dan. And if you haven't seen the current exhibit, I highly recommend it. Features community art from the Upper Peninsula. It's fantastic, it's inspiring. And Dan, when does that exhibit close? Late September? No, this week. This week? It closes this? Oh, they can't see it anymore? No, it's open this week. Oh, this week, okay. Whew, that was close. Hurry, don't wait. It's a great exhibit. That was not in my script, but it was important. All right, so back to my script. I have the pleasure today of highlighting 3 important priorities for academic affairs this year. First, which Jamie already mentioned, is the Okanagan Charter. This is an international initiative focused on holistic health. The charter embeds health into all aspects of the campus culture and leads health promotion action and collaboration, both locally and globally. We'll hear more from President Tessman on Northern becoming the 17th university to sign the charter and what we hope Northern's signing of the charter means to our students and employees. In academic affairs, we're especially optimistic about our potential to include holistic health efforts in our curriculum, our classrooms, and our laboratories. I know we have talented and caring faculty and staff who are up to the challenge of answering the question, what more can we do in our daily operations to elevate our collective physical and mental health and general well-being? Last year, we began to put the emphasis on comprehensive well-being, and we accomplished quite a bit in 1 year, including the new Well-Being Center. There's more we can do, and I'm pleased that this work will continue throughout academic affairs and campus as a whole. Like last year, we will continue to prioritize our goals to take care of our students, take care of ourselves and our families, and take care of our community. Second, I want to highlight faculty innovation, the dedication to teaching and the dedication to scholarship, all of which are inspired by our community and our students. It's not uncommon at Northern to hear faculty and staff talking about being student-centered, to put a focus on our students, or to take care of our students. As a university, we do a lot of things well. Putting students at the front is what we do best, and I am very proud to be here at an institution that can say that with meaning and with conviction. Our students inspire innovation when they challenge us to bring new ways of thinking into our teaching, when they challenge us to see the world through their eyes. They challenge us to engage them in our scholarship and in our service. They inspire us to help them prepare for a future of lifelong learning that includes generative AI, a rapidly changing climate, and the possibility of careers that don't yet exist. I'm grateful for our faculty and staff who step up to this challenge every single day. We see that reflected in our projects that are supported by grants from SISU, the Innovation Institute. This past year, 10 projects were selected for SISU Innovation Fund grants. We're pleased that we will be able to offer additional grant funds this year and into the future. We see innovation reflected in grants that we receive from public and private funders. This past year, our Office of Research and Sponsored Programs supported our faculty and staff in receiving $4.6 million in grant funding. That's a lot. And to build on Dan's comments, all of that goes through Kathy Frazier. So, thank you, Kathy. Much of that money will be used for projects that directly engage our students and give them the opportunity to be at the forefront of research and community engagement. I'm grateful to our deans and department heads for their commitment to support faculty innovation and encourage experiential learning. Without their support, we would not get as much done. And finally, the third thing, I want to mention this year's emphasis on our general education program. Our general education program is designed to complement a student's academic major, ensuring that our students develop the educational breadth they need to become independent, lifelong learners and effective participants in democracy. General education must be collaborative in order for it to be effective and valued. This year, our General Education Council, led by Dave Donovan, Department Head of Physics, And David Pierce, who's here somewhere. Somebody's pointing a general direction. They're still pointing over that way. Oh, there he is in the back by the coffee. David Pierce, Associate Professor in Theater and Dance, anyway, Dave Donovan and David Pierce are engaging our faculty and our students in a review of some of our gen ed procedures, including assessment. Faculty, you may stop a moment and cheer for this. And ways to reconnect the campus community with the gen ed program. I'm confident that we'll have robust, productive discussions with a final result that will impact our students and departments in very positive ways. We definitely have a busy and exciting year ahead of all of us. And at this time, I'd like to bring to stage ASNMU President Gwen Feemster to introduce President Tessman. And as Gwen works her way up here, let me tell you a little bit about Gwen. You can come up here. You can make your way up here faster. I'll keep reading. Okay. Yeah. Last year, Gwen was ASNMU's vice president. She was also one of 25 collegians to serve on Michigan Department of State's Collegiate Student Advisory Task Force. Nice. The task force worked to improve voter education and engagement among young people on campuses across the state. Gwen is a senior from Linden, Michigan. She's a double major in political science and philosophy with plans to study law following her NMU graduation. I'm told that she recently talked about preparing for the LSAT. Yeah, this is true?
It was rough.
I've taken it. I understand.
Yeah,
I understand. Yep. Well, welcome back, Gwen, and I hope the LSAT experience went well.
Yes.
Good. Good. That's very good. And I am glad you could join us today. So I will turn things over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That was a great introduction, so thank you very much. And thank you for having me. Faculty, staff, and administration, you guys are so important to the well-being of students and our success as students, but also as people. So thank you for being here, and thank you for having me this morning. My name is Gwen Feemster. I'll be the ASNMU president this coming year. That's our student government here at Northern. And I have the privilege of speaking here today and letting you know what are on the students' minds, in addition to introducing Dr. Tessman. There's a lot of change happening at Northern, but students are so excited. These changes will be benefiting the student experience at Northern, making us great people and great lifelong learners. Students are excited to have the university be more open. A lot of us came here in the good old fall of 2020 and have experienced different types of learning, and things finally feel more free, more open, and we're excited about it. We're excited to be in labs and start research. We're excited to go to the Berry on a Friday night and cheer on the Cats. We're excited to start new experiences in leadership organizations. Students are still thinking about mental health and well-being efforts on campus. It's been a primary concern with many students, and it continues to be. However, I'm personally excited to see what our signing of the Okanagan Charter does for those efforts. Students are thinking about diversity and belonging efforts on campus. Being seen, heard, and represented is valuable to everyday life, but especially as we're learning in a new and possibly independent environment. Lastly, students are thinking about our sustainability efforts as a campus. We're so lucky to live in a great, beautiful area, and students are hoping that as a campus and as a university, we are protecting the environment that we are in and sustaining it to make a lasting impact on our community. Overall, me and my team are excited to continue to work with you all and protect these issues. We're grateful to have such amazing faculty and staff supporting our students. So thank you for doing what you do and supporting us in all the ways you do again. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Brock Tessman. Dr. Tessman has done incredible work in his career, and I'm so grateful to have him here at Northern, and so are all of the students. During his time with the Montana University System, he oversaw the MUS's Montana 10 Student Success Initiatives. These initiatives handled a lot of student concerns and issues, some being mental health concerns, retention at the university, and even comprehensive advising, things that I believe will translate beautifully to what's going on at Northern. He has also done great work at the University of Montana in Missoula as a political science professor and the dean of the Honors College. And myself and all of the students are thrilled to have him working here at Northern. We've already seen his kindness and his drive to promote student success firsthand. He's frequently known for stopping and saying hi to students, remembering our names even if he's talked to us once, and remembering little things such as when I went to Lollapalooza, or a student who was debating changing his job on campus, or a student changing their major. Dr. Tessman has, in his short time here, supported all of us, getting to know us as students, future professionals, and people. And we're so excited to have him. And it is such a privilege for me to be able to introduce him. Thank you for having me. Let's have a great year, and here's Dr. Tessman.
All right. Gwen, what do you think? Should we pivot and maybe talk about Lollapalooza? 1992, maybe. Henry Rollins, Red Hot Chili Peppers. No, Gwen. I've got two things working against me. One is the podium, and the other is a script. I'm not used to either, but I'll do my best to be formal and make my way through these comments. Gwen, thank you for that introduction, and thank you for serving as president of ASNMU. You've got a big job. I mean, arguably, you've got a bigger job than I do, but you're not alone. Certainly, faculty and staff, administrators are here to support you. And as I look around the room, I'm so happy to see a number of students, and I know you have leaders of student organizations, leaders of other areas on campus, and generally the student body behind you. So thanks to you, Gwen, and certainly thanks to Judd, thanks to Jamie, thanks to Dan for your comments. Dan, it's such an honor to have you up here speaking on behalf of staff and really highlighting the work that goes on year-round. And I appreciate the fact that you also highlighted some unsung heroes among the staff. A couple more quick thank yous, and I'm sorry, but I just got to do this. One quick thank you. It is really amazing what Sally and her team, and T, you mentioned T and her team, and student workers, full-time staff, and dining, catering do in order to put together a beautiful breakfast for us today and really throughout the year, making sure our events are first class. So let's give one more round of applause. And I had a chance to ramble on a bit yesterday morning during the new faculty orientation. And I apologize if I took up more time than I should have, but it was just such a terrific opportunity to meet new adjunct faculty, term faculty, tenure-line faculty. We had graduate assistants in the audience, and talk about one of the great privileges of this job, being able to work with brilliant folks, new ideas, new energy coming into this campus every single year. So one more round of applause for our new faculty, staff, and students. And the last, thank you, she's going to be upset that I'm doing this, but the last thank you, if you hear me talk a bit, you know that I'll often tell stories about our family, and oftentimes those stories will start and end with our two daughters, Frances and Leona, who are remarkable. They should be on some watch list somewhere, I swear, for the trouble they get into, but they're remarkable. I want to talk about my wife, Kristen, and I'm here. I'm excited to be here today. I would not be here without Kristen and the support she's offered me and our family, the sacrifices, and they're very real sacrifices that she's made in order for our family to be here and take advantage of this opportunity. And some of you know Kristen, some of you don't. She's a nationally recognized leader in the field of nonprofit journalism. And I mean it when I say it. Y'all, if you had some alternative scenario, probably would learn more and get more inspiration if she was up here instead of me talking about her work. But I just wanted, in this somewhat public way, to say thank you to Kristen and everything you've done to make today possible. Thanks, Kristen. All right. Well, I got a lot to get through. I'm going to do my best. I know we all have meetings to get onto at 10 o'clock, so I'll wrap up in time. And certainly we'll have more chances to talk about the upcoming year. It's a great year to be a Wildcat. The theme of this convocation is orientation. And the last thing that I can do is to help orient you to this university. I'm the newcomer. I need orientation probably more than almost anyone else in this room. But I chose orientation because I wanted to ground us. I know I'm a new president. I have just a tiny bit of self-awareness. I know sometimes I can come off as having a lot of new ideas and a lot of action, a lot of movement, and Jamie, thanks for bringing up a lot of change. And there is a lot of change afoot. There's also a proud history here. There are so many things that we do exceptionally well. So as we're building new ideas, as we're enacting new initiatives, it's important that we stay oriented. We understand what's most important to us, make sure we don't lose track of who we are and what we care about most. My job today, in most ways, is to connect some dots for us. I'll walk a little bit through some of our proud history, talk about our recent past, and in particular, my learning process since I started in this job. Formally 7 months ago. It really was about 11 months ago, because your first day on the job is the first day that they name you as the new president. But I'll talk a little bit about my learning process and explain where we're at, and then I'll end by talking a little bit about where I think we're headed. No one can show up at a convocation without being curious with respect to our budget and enrollment and these nuts and bolts matters. And I want to recognize that. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. But I'll tell you that this summer we had a number of different orientations. Northern, most of you know, breaks up its orientations into smaller groups, so we have 200 to 300 students at a time with their parents coming through campus. Fantastic experience for students and parents. I noticed in June that they were pretty darn crowded. We had a lot of students packed in to Jam-Rich, a lot of students and parents at different events during orientation. And so I started looking into our numbers a bit more deeply and thinking about our incoming class. And as some of you know, in fact, I hope many of you know, we've got a fantastic incoming class joining Northern Michigan University this fall, one of our biggest classes in a good number of years. And because of that, we're actually expecting to get to a place that is an important milestone for the university, which is stabilization of our overall enrollment picture. This is a happy moment for us, and it doesn't come without a lot of tremendous hard work. Of course, admissions and our recruiting operation deserves so much credit, but I want to point out two groups who I think deserve particular credit. One, of course, our faculty, broadly speaking. We had a counselors tour this summer, for example, actually a few of them. When I would stop by and speak with those counselors, they always mentioned that the favorite part of the experience for them was a chance to meet with our faculty over lunch or during a session and understand the academic excellence that defines Northern Michigan University. Another group that deserves special recognition, folks who go the extra mile, especially at the last minute. We have a very solid enrollment picture. That would be the case even without things that have happened over the last couple of weeks. But in the last couple of weeks, this university has done something quite important, something that aligns very well with our mission. We've added, about 250 new students who are pursuing various levels of credentialing so that they can advance or begin their teaching career in the state of Michigan. And I want to thank everyone from Joe Lubig to Global Campus to the graduate studies programs to admissions, the registrar, who made that possible. It's a fantastic accomplishment for this university. Let's give that group and everyone who made it possible a round of applause. And along with enrollment comes a solid, strong budget for this year. One of my primary goals is for us to talk a little bit more about our budget. And Vice President Gavin Leach will join me in that effort. Members of his team will join me in that effort. Provide educational components throughout this year and also updates about where we're at in the budget cycle. Right now, we are in a strong position. Some of that has to do with a favorable budget that we received from the state of Michigan. a 5% increase to our operational base, and very importantly now, a second year of reductions to our MEPSRS liability, which means millions of dollars saved for Northern Michigan University. And I want to take just a moment to credit Deanna Hemela and Gavin Leach and a number of others who worked so hard to make that possible. Thank you. Now, I could go on for quite some time on that front, but I will move along. But suffice it to say, we're in a strong budget position, a very strong enrollment position. We are and will continue to be a university that, like all public universities, faces resource scarcity, but we have the opportunity to lift our gaze and think about the future and to plan with some stability in place. And I think that that makes such a difference for our bottom line. At least for me, it makes such a difference in terms of my psyche, my ability to get up and think about the future, what we can do to support our students and support each other. It's an exciting time, yet it's a time, 2023, that builds upon a very proud history, as I mentioned. And I will not walk you through a history that Dan and others would be much better positioned to describe. But I thought I'd just put us in the view, or in the shoes of some of our students over the years, and imagine what they've seen in terms of the growth of NMU. From our first day in 1899, when students who were here for the new normal school walked into classes without a grand building like the Northern Center, without a tremendous number of faculty, without all the infrastructure we see, but with a big leap of faith and service to their region and to the state. I think about the post-World War II era, when the concept of right to try allowed returning veterans to attend Northern Michigan University, even if they didn't have a high school degree. Now, that concept's undergone some evolution over the years, but I think that that concept of right to try is still at the heart of our mission. I think about Wildcats as champions. Athletics play a large role in this university, and that's a really good thing. Our national championship, football teams, hockey teams, volleyball, back-to-back champions. That tradition and the experience that it provides our student athletes, our student body, faculty, staff, and the community is something tremendous to recognize. And then I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about Northern as a technological leader. From our status as one of the first laptop universities, which makes a huge financial difference for our students and helps narrow the digital divide, to more recent work providing wireless access to students, communities across rural parts of Michigan and the UP. Northern has long had a history as a technological leader. And if we think about the more recent past, look, I'll be honest, it's been a rocky stretch. And of course it goes without saying that COVID has been a massive challenge. It's been traumatic for students, for faculty, staff, communities across the country, certainly the community of Marquette and the Central UP. There have been leadership transitions on this campus, no doubt. Our students, all of us, look at the world around us and we see social injustice, racial injustice, environmental challenges. Heck, we see the largest war in Europe since the Second World War. A lot of challenges out there for us. And in fact, this campus has seen a lot of tragedy here. The loss of life, students, faculty alike. There's a lot to grapple with. It's been a tough stretch. And we'll continue to see ups and downs over the years. But there is so much to celebrate about this place. And I do have my eye on the clock, and so I won't run through the full list of celebratory moments. But I ran into Sarah. There she is, Sarah Mittelfeld, last week, and was standing there talking to a group of faculty she had assembled around wood energy, and it just reminded me of something that Jamie mentioned. The excellence that we have on this campus with respect to our faculty and our staff knows no bounds. It happens in the classroom, it happens in research, whether it's basic research or applied research. It happens in service to our community, to our region, to our state. We have new programs on this campus, some not so new, but certainly ones that put us on the map. Medicinal plant chemistry. It's great to see a new research agenda emerge from that program and to see it continue to attract a number of new students. I mentioned our new cohorts from the Talent Together and Grow Your Own programs. And of course, we can't think about success on this campus without thinking about our students. From commencement at the Superior Dome to some of the graduation ceremonies I had an opportunity to attend this summer, namely the Police Academy graduation. I see Chief Bath in the back. Last week, it was so wonderful to see those cadets graduating and to have this room filled just like it is today with parents and friends, folks who are going to go out and help keep our communities safe, promote justice across the UP and rural Michigan. So the list goes on. For me, my job is to honor that history, to steward it, and to learn as best I can. That learning has taken the form of informal learning. That happened from day one. Like I said, I want to give a round of thank yous to Chris Greer as the chair of the Presidential Search Advisory Committee and everyone who served on that committee. Our Board of Trustees chair, Steve Young. Trustees in attendance, Greg Sepinen was part of that search process, and I don't want to leave you out, Trustee Lindberg. It's been so good to learn from you as well. Learning from the interim strategic plan, Jason Nicholas and his team, the steering committee chairs, folks who made that interim strategic plan a huge point of attraction for me. And I'd be remiss if I didn't thank one more time Carrie Schuling, our talented, committed, dedicated president who took me under her wing, guided me so well in those early months, and who continues to serve as a source of advice today. I didn't see you, Carrie, until now. Good to see you. Informal learning took place in the fall as I was an unwitting part of the Putnam County Spelling Bee production. Boy, I learned a little bit about approaching a line but not crossing it at that point in time. It happened in small dinners. Carter Wilson, I saw you here, Carter. Petra Hendrickson, Malaja Ivanovich. A chance to learn about kind of my home department on campus, the political science department. Spending time with ASNMU at one of their fall meetings last year. Being out and about in the community. I have to tell you, I didn't know this, but you can learn a whole lot as you're waiting for a table at Vangos. All of the informal learning, of course, has informed where we're at today. Intentional outreach, and I don't want to discount the extent to which the learning can't just be informal. It needs to occur through a kind of methodical approach. And that intentional outreach took on many forms: the creation of a presidential learning network, continued consultation with leadership councils, including my executive council, outreach to local school districts and leadership in the community, outreach to Lansing through MASU and our legislative contingent. Very important for me, it came through 30 visits to different academic departments across our campus and what I learned about department opportunities and department challenges that they faced. That learning has brought us to where we are today. And my role as president, I want to be clear, I don't see it as being what I would call a preference aggregator. I'm not trying to draw a bunch of circles on a paper in some sort of Venn diagram and figuring out exactly where all of those different preferences from different parts of our campus connect in this narrow sliver of compromise and overlap. No, leadership is about learning and listening, but then actually stretching our collective vision and charting a new path. And while it's not, of course, entirely up to me as your president to set the vision, I think the vision has got to start and end with our people. Our people, faculty, staff, folks who've been working through these difficult times that I described a bit earlier, deeply committed to our students, to each other, some of whom have decades of experience here and wisdom to share. Our faculty and staff are the core of what make this university great. Our students, who come from every part of the UP, the state of Michigan, the Midwest, increasingly around the country and even around the world. We are here for our students. They come from urban areas, from farmhouses, suburbs, and dirt roads. They come from first-generation college families. Many of them come from families with significant financial need. Many of them come from historically underserved populations. Our students are both fifth-generation Wildcats and brand-new college students who didn't think they were going to college until they decided to take a leap of faith on Northern Michigan University. Our students, and I think this is particularly remarkable, they come to us and they enrich us with their increasingly complex, rich worldviews, varied identities, all of this nuance that helps make this university great. We are here for our students. I don't know how to transition to this. I was thinking about it. I was in the bathroom right before the set of comments. I was walking out of the bathroom, and I met a young woman who explained to me that she was returning to her arts education program, and she had taken some time off from college, and she was returning to Northern. The reason she had taken some time off is because she had had a baby girl. And that baby girl's 3 years old now. She is back here at Northern, ready to finish her degree. And I thought, oh my gosh, there couldn't be a more fitting encounter for me to have on my way into Convocation. Our students are the reason we're here, and we're all about student success. Like many universities, Northern can do even better with respect to student success. We have so much to be proud of. Jamie, Dan, Gwen, you pointed that out. Too many of our students don't reach the finish line. Now, that's not on us. It's not due to a lack of effort, a lack of initiative. It's because of the systems we have in place, the leadership structures, the administrative structures we have in place. We can tweak those, we can refine them, we can improve them to unleash the potential of our faculty, our staff, our university, and importantly, our students. This will serve as our central goal in the years ahead. Promoting student success, narrowing equity gaps so every student has a genuine opportunity to succeed. So I talk a little bit about structures. Leadership structures are important. We have 2 major searches underway, a search for a new Assistant Vice President of Diversity and Inclusion. That's a national search being chaired by Jill Compton, co-chaired by Jill Compton and Amy Hamilton. It'll be underway fully in the next week or so, and we expect to name a new Assistant Vice President of Diversity and Inclusion with a seat on Executive Council early in 2024. We also have a search going on for a permanent provost. Also a national search. It's a continuation of a search that was paused in 2021. Carol Johnson's been kind enough to resume that search, and the search committee itself is a subset of the earlier committee. Both committees are small, about 10 members, heavily defined by faculty membership. Their job as small committees will be to make sure that as we complete those searches, there are tremendous opportunities for outreach and engagement with the wider campus community. These new leaders will step into a new administrative structure. In May, I sent out a memo describing 5 new administrative pillars, divisions per se. Now, I laugh a little bit because I say these are not about silos, but literally in the memo there was a picture that looked like a bunch of farm silos. And we can look at them euphemistically as cylinders of excellence, and I say that tongue-in-cheek. They're not about silos, but they are about creating new channels for decision-making, new opportunities to elevate our priorities. We have 2 pillars that have long been in place and will continue to be in place. Our academic affairs pillar led by Dale Kapla, our finance and administration pillar led by Gavin Leach. But we talk about student success, we talk about supporting people, the 3 new pillars rising next to those 2 core pillars. Student success, student affairs and student success, all about completion. Focused this year with a big project on redesigning our advising system in order to produce equitable outcomes for our students no matter their background. Next to that, what I think is a one-of-a-kind pillar, the Northern Student Experience, a pillar led by Jeff Corpy, our Associate Vice President for Student Experience, really focused on elevating the student experience all the way from first contact with the admissions office, through orientation, housing and residential life, the Center for Student Enrichment, and activities on campus. Jeff and his pillar will focus on really connecting even more with our local students and commuter students. Some of that will be through summer academies and interaction with local middle schoolers and high schoolers. Some of it will be through making sure that this place feels like home for students who live off campus, not in the residence halls. A third new pillar led by Rhea Deaver, our Vice President for People, Culture, and Well-Being, already underway with a big project supporting professional development, career laddering, and a real opportunity for growth for our staff and our faculty. These pillars combined together are all about action. Over time, we'll see more projects emerge from these pillars, and over time, we'll see certain elements highlighted even more than they are today. And as I prepare to wrap up, I want to focus on 2 major initiatives. All of them fit within the Okanagan Charter, and thankfully for all of you, I don't need to go through all of the details of the Okanagan Charter, but it is our bedrock commitment to well-being. It's an integrated commitment to well-being that involves mental, physical, and behavioral health, attention to campus culture, diversity, and inclusion, and attention to environmental well-being. This Okanagan Charter will contain many elements over the years. The elements that we'll focus on in the coming year tend to connect back in particular to well-being. Abigail Welch has been named recently our Assistant Vice President for Well-being. Whether it's extended hours and a new approach through our counseling center and services led by our new director, Angie Stebbins, whether it's the introduction of a new case manager, our search for a new health promotions manager, the launch of a comprehensive well-being campaign, you can see much more effort and explicit attention given to the well-being of our students and our faculty in the months ahead. Well-being is multifaceted. One particular element of well-being has to do with quality of life for our students, our staff, and our faculty who have family, in particular young children. And I'd be remiss if I didn't take this opportunity to note that very recently we've been able to finalize an agreement with Gretchen's House, a child care provider that has 10 operations throughout the state of Michigan, has about 35 years of providing very high quality child care throughout the state, accredited, very much development focused. Gretchen's House will open just a few blocks away from campus. We've secured with a major investment, a critical investment, about 35 to 40 slots for NMU families. And in early 2024, those slots will open up. This solution in itself is a fantastic opportunity for a section of our faculty, staff, and students, but it complements other opportunities through our participation in the TriShare program and the WeCare program. Childcare makes a huge difference in faculty retention, staff retention, quality of life. It makes a difference for our students. And oh yes, it's the right thing to do for young people in the area. I want to thank Rhea Deaver, Dale Kapla, and in particular the faculty and community group that helped make this partnership possible. Thank you. And I am at time, and part of my job is to learn how to pivot under some duress. And so what I'll do is I will wrap up by talking about our next big steps. And Jamie, you mentioned communication. Communication is so difficult. It really is. We're going to fall short sometimes, but the intentions are true. We are going to improve our communication on the ground through more visibility in departmental meetings, in Jamrich, in Northern Lights, out and about in the community. We're also going to improve our communication, what I'll call in the air, through formal communications, whether they be digital, through some videos. I think for our students, there's a Hot Ones video coming out pretty soon where I'll be able to answer some questions about my vision for Northern while eating hot wings. And so we'll try different approaches. I made it, by the way. One approach, and I don't want to forget, on your table, you have a bunch of feedback cards available to you. And this isn't meant to limit you, but there are questions about some more unsung heroes on campus that you'd like for our leadership team to know about. There are questions about initiatives or projects you want to learn more about. There are questions about how we can better support different community groups and organizations. Please take a little bit of time to complete those feedback cards. We will read them, we will act on them, and be happy to report back on them throughout the fall semester. This fall, we'll kick off what I think is an important new communications platform. In addition to everything I mentioned in terms of informal communication and routine communication, we'll kick off a university assembly. This will be a broad-based, very high participation assembly that includes all of the different stakeholders on campus and in the community. It'll serve as an information clearinghouse to make sure that we're all on the same page as we move forward together. This next year is also about planning. And Jason Nicholas and his team did a wonderful job developing our interim strategic plan. You all did a wonderful job doing that. We're going to be updating that strategic plan, sticking true to the inclusive, transparent process that I think was a hallmark of the interim plan. And 1 year from today, approximately, we will adopt a new long-term strategic plan. And at that same time, we'll be kicking off the public phase of our fundraising campaign, and we'll be celebrating the 125th anniversary of this great university. I mentioned the Okanagan Charter, and there was another version of this talk that would have dived into much more detail there, but I want to close with a quote from the Charter. And that quote connects back to well-being. It connects back to our emphasis on students. It connects back to the announcement I made regarding our child care partnership and thinking about future generations. The quote is from one of the participants in that initial conversation that led to the Okanagan Charter, and it's from an Okanagan Nation elder, Grouse Barnes. This land doesn't belong to us. This land belongs to 7 generations down the road. I pray that the water that we drink, the water that we swim in, will be there for our great, great, great grandchildren, as well as all over the world. I pray that the land that we walk on, the trees that we enjoy, will be there for our generations to come. These things, they all come together with health. Health of humans, health of the animals, and health of the Mother Earth. I wish you all a healthy and happy academic year. We are all in a position to feel lucky as stewards of this incredible university, and we should feel lucky to be in the role we have, to serve students of the past, of the present, and of the future. It is my distinct pleasure to serve as your president. I look forward to working with you for many, many years to come. Thank you again, everyone. I apologize for the slight delay. Have a wonderful day, and let's make it a great year. Go Wildcats!
All right, so I will go off script in the nature of expediency to make sure that I just capture a last couple things. I have a couple notes of events that I want to highlight that will be happening in the fall semester. You will be getting emails about these, so you don't need to find your pen and pencil right now. Homecoming is early this year. Homecoming will be the week of September 11th through the 17th. That's the same week as the Board of Trustees meeting. It includes the rededication of the Jacobetti Complex on Friday, September 15th. We have President Tessman's investiture with activities happening Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, September 28th through 30th. You will get an email with more information. You can also find the full schedule at nmu.edu/investiture. We have the dedication for the Wellbeing Center, formerly known as the Health Center and Counseling. But the dedication of the Wellbeing Center will be part of the investiture activities on Thursday, September 28th. That's going to be a very busy week. That is 2 weeks after homecoming. And then finally, in my notes, I have that we will be dedicating the new Bear Center on Thursday, November 2nd. That's my younger sister's birthday. That doesn't help anybody else but me remember the date, but there it is. And then the only last thing that I have in my notes is to thank you very much for your attendance today. I am incredibly proud of us for having such a big turnout at this event. This is a fantastic kickoff for the academic year, and I'm incredibly happy that we have so many people here to celebrate that. So best wishes for 2023-24 academic year, and Happy New Year.